All right, welcome to the second draft of the league. Um, okay, so welcome to the second draft of the league. This pack's interesting, actually. So we only have 4 people this week, so we're doing 8 packs of 8 because that's pretty close to like 270 cards seen a person. So this pack's kind of challenging in that I can take the Tarn. That's probably the best and most correct pick. But Garrick is really, really powerful. Nightpack Ambush is really powerful. And if I take one, I'm probably wheeling the other. Alternatively, yeah, it's probably just the Tarn. I try to kind of trick myself into thinking maybe it was something else, but it's not. This pack's interesting. I kind of want to take the Gilded Goose. Lovestruck Beast is also really powerful, obviously. I could also just take the Elvish Mystic so that I have the Lovestruck Beast combo. Yeah, and I'm not even sure like if I wheel one of the dorks, do I take the dork of the Lovestruck Beast? I'm not sure. I might take the Lovestruck Beast in that scenario. I'm not sure which of these is better. I think maybe being able to consistently ramp me and be able to attack is slightly better. I'm not really sure, but I'll go with the Elvish Mystic here. I don't really like Simic decks that much. And our fixing... our fixing can go either way. It can be Simic or Gruul, but I think that Gruul is generally the stronger deck, barring like an Oko. But I'll take the Tarfire here. Or I guess maybe Wild Slash is slightly better. You have slightly more upside with Can't Be Prevented. I don't think there's anything in the cube that prevents damage, but I think for all intents and purposes, they're the same card. Alright, we can take Lightning Strike. Card's really strong. Nightpack Ambush are wheeled, so that's good. Ichor Slick is okay. So, like, if I end up in, like, a Jund shell, this card's fine. I'm probably not running it. Like, so these are the cards I think I'm running right now. But if we do end up in a Jund shell, I could see myself running this card. Whereas the other cards in the pack were Wasp of the Bitter End and Thriving Grubs, I think. Neither of which I could see myself really running if I ended up in Jund. So in general, like, creatures and removal is like a fine deck. Especially if you get some good planeswalkers. I'm not upset that I took this Tarn, actually. I think that it like is going to lead me to a better deck. Because even if I had taken the Garrick, which is a really strong card, I end up in... Alright, Disfigure. So we can end up in a Jund Shell here and like just have really good removal. Depending on what we get. Like if we get like Raktaretti or something, could be pretty happy with that. Boreal Druid is a snap pick here. I kind of lost my train of thought, so I don't really know what I was talking about now. So there's a Murderous Rider, which is fine. It's probably one of the better black cards if I'm playing mid-range, but it is black, and it's very hard to splash. I am leaning toward the Fire Ambush or the Heirloom Blade here. There's also still a world where we end up like mono red, although, you know, we haven't really seen a lot of stuff wheeling for that. But it's only, you know, pack 2, and they're packs of 8, so I'll take the Fire Ambush. Here I can take the Bayou if I want to like hedge for Jund. I could also take the Soulscar Mage if I want to hedge for potentially playing mono red. I don't really think that right now we're headed toward any sort of Naya or like Abzan-y place, so I'm not really interested in Prison Realm or Mikaeus. I'll take the Bayou. I think that I'm not necessarily committed to green, but I think that if I take the Bayou, I keep that option open. Especially green splashing black, which I think is like still a reasonable option. None of these cards are really good. I'll take the Wrath of God. And here the same thing. I'll take the Damnation. So those are cards that are hard for me to beat. And here, I mean, Murderous Rider and Heirloom Blade both wield. I can take the Murderous Rider without major consequence. I mean, Heirloom Blade is good. So there's a part of me that wants to take that. I mean, it's good with dorks. It's just good with like generic mid-range threats. But I'll take the Murderous Rider. I think that it's flexible enough to warrant potentially, having a harder. We're not guaranteed to have a harder time casting it. Is basically what I'm thinking in my brain, because we could potentially, get there. Chain Lightning versus Garruk is kind of a challenging choice, but I'm going to take Garruk. I think that we have a lot of removal right now, and we don't have a lot of threats, so I'll take the threat. Endless One, I am a big fan of. I think Piper is also a good card. Which one do I think is more likely to wheel? Kind of hard to know. But we're also not really committed to black, and I think Endless One is a less committal pick. So I'll take that. It's just a really powerful card as well. Jiraga Tree Speaker, you just don't pass dorks, so that's easy. Fatal Push and Bone Crusher Giant, I gotta go with Bone Crusher here. Bone Crusher is just an absurdly good card, and Chain Lightning Wield, so I'll take that. I think that's better than Ruinous Path by a lot. It's just cheaper and ultimately kills about the same amount of stuff. Piper came back. Could see myself playing that. I'll take the Swift Spear. I don't really think we're going to end up on... Alright, so this... Vivian. Alright, I didn't realize Funch was back on Vivian. That's interesting. We're drafting Funch's cube today, by the way. It'll be linked in the description. Vivian's really powerful. She's kind of hard to hit all of your stuff for, but... Actually, at the moment, we don't really have... So, this is actually really important, this Bloodstained Mire, because it can fetch for our Bayou or a Mountain, which is good. So, I'm going to take that for sure, and I'm hoping to wheel... Honestly, any of these cards is fine. Obnixilis is probably the one I'm least excited about, but Vivian, Dustwatch Recruiter, Troll Ascetic, all of those are good cards for me, so this is kind of an annoying pack in that it doesn't really have a lot of cards that I don't want. Alright. Arc Lightning is a card that really helps us just brutalize aggro, but we should be favored in that matchup anyway. Let's see. We do kind of have like a burn game plan against control as well. So you can see that. I could see Saheeli being a pick here if we wanted to go kind of heavier into red. But right now red is just like single pips, so splashing for something that's a double pip is a little bit more risky, or riskier rather. I could take the Deluge and just try to wheel one of these cards. I don't think that's really necessary though. I've already taken 2 Wraths out of the packs. I'm going to go with Arc Lightning. Channeler Initiate is really good. We do need a little bit more ramp, I think. Especially, like, we want to get to these 4-drops. So I want to take that, and then I can wheel either Call of the Herd or Arc Trail, and I'm happy with either of those. Alright, so I guess there is a place where we end up Abzan. Probably not, though. Troll Ascetic is really annoying for control to deal with. Especially since we took 2 of the Regenerate Wraths. Dustwatch Recruiter I've not really played with in Cube yet, because I just haven't seen it in my Cube. I think it's fine. I think it's worse than Troll Ascetic on average, probably. Incinerate Wield, alright. Arc Trail Wield, alright. So someone else is on green, I guess, and that's why we're kind of fighting over cards. But we've got a really like lean, kind of burny mid-range deck here, which is kind of interesting to look at. I want this Wolfbriar Elemental. Actually, Xenagos is really powerful. I kind of almost like that more. Like, I think Wolfbriar Elemental is a really powerful card, but I'm not sure how many green sources we'll actually have, just because of how much red we have in our deck right now. So Xenagos might actually be better, and then we can wheel Nissa. Although, it might be right to try to wheel the Xenagos, because people are less likely to be in green-red, given how many things I've taken. So I can take the Nissa here. Do I actually like Nissa more than Wolfbriar? Not really. Like, how often am I not going to have 3 green sources? Probably not very often. Like, at that point, you know, he's at least turning into 5 mana 6/6. Nissa's definitely better against control. Wolfbriar is better against aggro, but only really slightly. I could see Nissa being the better pick here. Alright, I'll take Nissa. That seems fine. Trumpeting Herd is really good. Kari Zev is also fine. Misty doesn't really fix for anything here. I'll go with the Llanowar Elves. I mean, I could take Seal Fire. I think Bitter Blossom's a really powerful card, though, and could actually bring me into Splashing Black, my main board, and Xenagos came around, so that's nice. I kind of figured that Xenagos would come back, as you heard me state. Kari Zev is fine. Probably not playing it, but we'll see. So far we got 5 dorks at 1. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4 at 1. And a 5th one at 2. 20 playables. Alright. We could probably have been mono red. I wonder if we just didn't read our signs right. Arbor Elf, Questing Beast, Ronus. This is a pack. We may have to pass the dork here. I think that we do need some beef, which we're a little light on at the moment. This requires a power 4 or greater, but you can always buff something. Kind of like Ronus of these things. I think it's probably the best one. And then we probably won't wheel Questing Beast. It's either like whoever else is in green either takes Arbor Elf or Questing Beast, and then whichever one isn't taken, I think we take. Alright, I could see Ulcerate being okay. I don't think that card's any good. I'll take Najeela instead. Wildborn Preserver versus Saprolling Migration. Porcelain Legionnaire is also an option, to be fair. Migration's pretty good. It's, I guess, a little bit weaker against aggro, since aggro has so many flyers in this format. But we have tons of removal. I'm not really worried about the flyers. I'll take the Saprolling Migration. And Questing Beast came back. Alright, cool. So we'll take that. That also sends a really strong signal of like, hey, I'm also in green. 27 minus 3, so we're 24. We can probably run like 1 to 2 more things. So like 15, 14 land deck. This deck so far looks pretty okay. I'm not offended. I'd love to see another dork that isn't bad. Like, I don't really want to run the Sakura Tribe Elder. I don't think that card's good. Silver Inlaid Dagger's fine. Vendetta's fine. I'm not running any of these black cards, I don't think. I think that, like, if I play against control, I can maybe bring in Bitter Blossom. But, like, I don't even know why. Like, I have other things that generate value. I don't think it's really necessary. Alright, I don't really want to play against Sunwing or Liliana. I'll take Liliana, I guess. Because it's another thing I can board in if I do board into black. Whoever else is in green... Or, well, I guess, I don't know. I just haven't seen any green duels, really, so it's kind of been irritating. Probably not on Scalding Tarn. Unless I find something that actually lets me fix with it, but so far I haven't found that. Krenko's fine. I'm, like, pretty in for turn 2 Krenko is a really powerful play. Retrofitter Foundry I actually like. Boon Satyr is good. I'm not sure if Boon Satyr is better than Retrofitter Foundry or not. I'm not sure. This is definitely better against control. This is also good against control. I guess what's more likely to wheel? If I take this, the the other green player is going to take this, right? So whichever one I take is the only one I'm getting. It's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I could take Delta and then try to wheel either one of them. Boonsater is definitely more tempo positive. Retrofitter Foundry is more of a card advantage engine. We don't really have a ton of Planeswalkers. I'll go with the Boonsater, though. I think that it's good enough where it can definitely still win a fair amount of games. Take the Mistral Charger. I don't want to play against that. I'll take Volshock Morningstar. Card's okay. Abbott is fine. I mean, Migratory Route is like fixing technically, but I'll take Abbott. Alright, Badlands. Does that help me fix anything? Not really. Wooded Foothills does, though, so that's good. Hex Drinker is really nice, but I think I really need to have better fixing here than what I've got currently. I'll take the Pyrite Spellbomb. It cycles, which is important. And actually, to be honest, we could be mono red. 1, 2, 3. We're just playing the wrong deck here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be too late now. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it might be too late. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, we're not that far off. I mean, I could try to wrap it up in this pack. Yeah, sure. We'll take Lightning Berserker. See what happens. We'll take Lightning Bolt. All right. I don't think we're mono red. I think that we're probably at least splashing. So I think Bayou is better. Alright, yeah, Twin Bolt. We're not running this way. This is my main board. I think I meant to click on Boonsater, yeah. Alright, so we definitely could have been on mono red, and I think I missed my ticket on that. I think I definitely misdrafted a little bit in regard to that. Let's see. So we've got 4 pieces of fixing, so we're in 13 lands right now. I think that we can be on 14 in this deck. It's really a matter of like... Okay, so really we're on 30, so we need to make 4 to 5 cuts. How green do we even want to be? Maybe we don't want to be that green. I mean, we do have all these like 1-drop dorks, so I think we do want to leverage those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we want to be on probably 15 lands in this deck, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. I think we can go out with, like, we can go without the Twin Bolts probably in the main board. I think Art Lightning is still good enough, even though it costs 3. I think being able to, like, hit for 3 is probably worth it. Maybe not. I don't know. The 4s are all really good. How many creatures? Let's see. Type. 14 creatures, 5 of which are elves, so really like 9 creatures. This is tough. I think I'm probably just I just have too much removal, so I probably just need to cut the bad stuff. Like Wild Slash can probably go. Pyrite Spellbomb I kind of like just because it can cycle. So maybe I just cut Arc Lightning and then bring that in against mid-range and aggro. Yeah. Is it good against mid? I guess it depends on the mid-range. Not sure. Yeah, it's probably right to cut it though. 3 mana interaction's pretty slow. Alright, 30 minus 4. I think we can be on 14 lands in this deck. It's pretty slim. Alright, let's do the Hybrid Geo. Because we need to hit 3 lands most of the time. So 40, 14, sample size. We need to hit 3 lands by turn 3. So we need to see 10 cards, and we want to see 3 lands. Calculate. All right, so about 80% of the time. That's kind of sketchy. I mean, at a minimum, we can, like... The thing is, like, when we want to hit 4 lands, maybe we just cut Nissa and run 15 lands. I mean, I don't really love cutting Nissa because I think that she's really powerful. But I don't know what our other option is here. I mean, we could cut Boon Satyr. Yeah, alright. Boon Satyr's probably weaker than Nissa. We've got a lot more double green than red, so I think I'm okay with this configuration. Why are we on... Oh, because it's counting Endless One as a land. Alright, sure. So, let's go Gruul, mid. Yeah, I think that I was supposed to be mono-red aggro, but... Live and learn. I think I should have just read my signals better, and I was seeing that green things were getting passed, but I think that those are probably just green heavy packs. So, alright, well, let's see what happens. Okay, so this hand looks great. We've got 2 of our Rabble Masters, some removal, and Endless One, so that's pretty nice. Oh, and all of our other colors, so we're in a pretty good spot with this hand, I think. My opponent fetches for a scrubland, so it doesn't tell me too much, but alright, looks like there's some form of aggro deck. Are they 3-color aggro? Or are they just monocolored aggro and they just happen to have just dual lands as fetchables, because the cube has a number of different or a number of the same ABRs and things like that, so it's just incorrect to not just run better ones, or better basics, essentially. Alright, another land. I don't know that we really need to fire ambush this, but we could. Could also just play the Endless One for 2, or just pass the turn. And I like Endless One for 2 here because it forces my opponent to kind of be reactive. This is bigger than his current threat, so we should be able to hopefully take control of the board with the Endless One into our Rabble Masters. Alright. Drawing all lands. That's unfortunate. Just go ahead and play Najila here. Or Kranko. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, after a little bit more consideration, just taking out the best creature makes a little bit of sense there. Since right now my creature is bigger than anything my opponent has, so taking out their biggest thing affords me the opportunity to potentially attack in the future. So my opponent forgot the first couple triggers on Bow My Courier, but we I've remembered it now, so I think it could have been wrong to not just develop last turn. Um, Having a body on the board is pretty important, and I think that we could have potentially been a little bit better off being able to potentially attack this turn. Just gonna swing with the endless one because my Agila is big enough to block Bowmat Courier or whatever. He's just gonna tap down the Nagila though. But I don't know that puts him in a really good position. So like if he taps down the Nagila and I get to untap with it and I attack, that's really big for me. So if he doesn't have like a blocker that can actually kill my Nagila in combat, then I'm not that worried about it. So just trade with the Bowmat Courier here. Just to lessen the total amount of damage coming in. Unexpectedly absent. Alright, just putting that on top, sure. I'm glad to force my opponent to use that removal here. We gain a lot by so swing for 5. We gain a lot though by him not having like proper removal now for our better threats. So I feel much better with that ability here to have taken away the unexpectedly absent, that is. And now I think that we're in a pretty dominant position. Obviously, Gold Meadow Harrier on defense is pretty potent, but the Sultari Trooper can't block. So I feel like we have a reasonable handle on this situation. So it looks like he's block sacking. He binned Porcelain Legionnaire and Herald of Anavenza. I'm not sure about that. I feel like you play those pre-combat because those are really annoying for me. And then you just draw 2. Yeah, I think that was probably a mistake. Alright, Ancestral Blade's kind of annoying because it can trade with my guys. It can't trade with the Krenko, so I can swing with that. If he wants to double block, I guess I would kill the Harrier. Oh, alright. Well, that sucks. So I'll just swing with these 2 then. You can of course put the blade on the Sultari Trooper. If he were to trade with the endless one, but he chose not to, so he just takes 3. That was a mistake. I should have tapped those. I should have tapped green, red to put 2 counters on it, but it's fine. Otherwise, like, why play the land there? I didn't really need to. Brim has. Alright. That's unfortunate. Alright, Sap Rolling Migration isn't bad. Move to combat, he taps down to Gila, yep. Go ahead and make 4 of these boys. I'm trying to think of when I want to fuel the tree speaker here. So the goal is to get to like a 1/4. Then I can block the 2/2 permanently. Oh, Kithian, that's annoying. Alright. Pyrite Spellbomb. Alright, so he's going to tap down to Gila. If we were to swing with everything, he would be able to block 4 things. So we would get in with like 4 1/1s. Yeah, like 4 1/1s pretty much. Not even 3 1/1s because he taps down into Gila. But I guess the warrior would make another token. So yeah, 4 1/1s. We put him to 4. Pirate Spellbomb's not really enough. So I'll just pass, I think. At least force him to tap something down. Alright, so that's a 1/4 now. If we draw another burn spell, and we can somehow survive his attack, of course, just want to read this card. That's not ideal. He could, of course, be kind of timid with this, and if he is, then maybe we can come out okay. We need like another burn spell, I think, here would be nice. Okay, equip the Soltari Trooper, sure. So the soldier is a 1/1 now. So his goal is just to hit me twice, and that would be lethal. Okay. Alright, Channel Initiate. I think I just play that and eat a token, make it 3/4, right? And I have to kill the Soltari Trooper now. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pop the Pirate Spellbomb to kill the Soltari Trooper. Hopefully, if we can get far enough ahead on blocks, and we have any burn spell on top, we should be able to get there. But it just, I mean, it kind of depends. So now he's got a real decision to make here. Is he swinging with everything? Is it, can he afford to lose the Brimaz? Because I think well, if he swings at everything, okay, he didn't swing at all. That's interesting. I feel like swinging there was just like objectively correct. Maybe not. I mean, I guess if you tap out, it's a little bit dangerous. I mean, at least you swing with... Maybe you don't swing with Brimaz, I guess. It is pretty valuable, and you've got the tapper, so you don't really have to worry about anything. But you could always just tap down the Channel Initiate. You swing with Brimaz. And, and you eat, like, most of my board at that point. Like, you kill Najila, but I would, like, not put Najila in front of it, so you kill, like, Endless One and 2 tokens, something like that. I guess you only kill 1 token. Yeah, I guess I can see why my opponent chose to do it that way. It's a close game. A lot of combat math. Unfortunately, we're flooding out. Despite double fetching and getting pathed, we're just drawing all lands. So it's a bit unfortunate, but part of the game sometimes. Okay, so my opponent chooses to attack Soldier, Kithian, Brimaz. Okay, so we're gonna put 3 things in front of Brimaz. We need to kill that. We'll block the Soldier, the Cat Soldier with the 2/2, because that has Vigilance, and I don't know, should we block Kithian? Force him to pay 3 mana. Doesn't really matter, he'd still be able to tap something down. No, I don't like this. I think we should redo these blocks. We want to actually put the Saproling in front of the Brimaz, I think. Yeah. Because we're going to lose probably these Saprolings anyway. He could he could choose to kill. Whoa, that was hard. He could choose to kill the Channel Initiate, or he could choose to kill the 2 Saprolings. He can't kill the Derogatory Speaker though, which is nice. I think we could potentially block the Soldier, but I feel like it's a losing line at that point. Basically, we're banking on what are we banking on? So Brimaz dies. Oh no, that's really bad. Oh wait, no, that's the bounce one. That's fine. I thought it was the buff one. I was like, well, we got screwed by the only combat trick in the cube. Yeah, that's fine. This will let us... Let's
see. He's going to make something attack it, or is he going to give something indestructible? Well, this is really good for us because our Channel Initiate lives now, which it wouldn't have before. So, like, this saves the Brimaz, but doesn't do anything to my board, which is probably not ideal for my opponent. Alright, so he's untapping. No, he's not untapping. He's going to say something I control has to attack him, probably. Nope. He was a soldier indestructible. Alright, so he's got 4 blockers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. So if we draw a bolt, which we did, that's lethal. Well, no, because one of our... Yes, because we have 8 attackers. So we have 8 attackers because the warrior token makes another token. So we have 8 attackers. He's got 4 blockers. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's only got 3 blockers, though, because if he taps the Gold Metal Harrier, yeah. So that means that we deal 5, and then the Lightning Strike is lethal. I was thinking ahead and had the right logic, but the wrong math the first couple times I went through, but we should have lethal here. Alright. Whew, that was close. Out of the sideboard, let's see. Wild Slash, just for kind of more aggressive little dudes. As well as the Pyrohelixes. Arc Lightning, maybe. Do we consider splashing black? Karizev as well. We could consider splashing black for, like, Go for the Throat and things like that if we feel that we need to kill Brimaz, but I think that's not worth the risk. 15 lands does feel like a few too many. So maybe I cut one. That could be correct. Could have also been wrong to maybe cut Nissa. She has 5 mana, but she, makes a body every turn, which is, like, pretty good. But 5 mana is a lot, so. Saproling Migration was really good in that game, but it may not be good overall. Maybe the Twin Bolts just aren't good enough. They're really good, though, whenever you can get, like, 2/1/1s on a single removal spell. Could cut Dorks. I think Dorks are, like, pretty important. Yeah, cut a land, I think, is correct. Maybe Fire Ambush is too slow? I don't think so, though. We do need the removal. Trumpeting Herd versus Garruk Wildspeaker. That's pretty close, I think. But I think being able to outgrind this deck is probably one of our principal concerns. So, like, we do want immediate value, but we also do want to be able to kind of go bigger. So I cut the Fire Ambush there. I think that could be questionable, just because burn spells are really flexible. They're really powerful cards. But, being able to make a bunch of tokens allows me to trade one for many, right, with my Saproling Migration, which can be really potent. So, can we keep this? It's pretty risky. If we find a red source, it's good. We're on the draw, so maybe we do succeed in that. But I think we're supposed to mulligan that. This looks better, and we've been Saproling Migration. Alright, Student of Warfare. Sick. I'll just lead off with Fetch, I guess. Alright, swing just for one. Sure, I accept. Rakdos Cackler. Yep, I get a mountain here, just so I can potentially have double mana later. I do want to kill that Kithian. Now I get to... So, but I think what I will do is, if he levels up the Student Warfare, I will just Incinerate in response to the second level up, so that he can't protect Kithian. So I take 4 there. He taps for Herald of Anafenza and Hope of Girapur. Now, unfortunately for me, that means that I don't get to kill the Herald of Anafenza here before it can grow, because I need to kill this Kithian. It's a little bit frustrating. Like, I could try to kill the Herald of Anafenza and just, like, assume I can deal with the Kithian, but I don't think that that's a reality. Of course, the Herald of Anafenza can be really annoying as well, so... yeah, this is a bit of a challenging situation. I guess I am supposed to kill the Kithian here, but man, does that really suck. Because, yeah, next turn, Herald of Anafenza just becomes a Rabble Master that grows. Kind of similar to, like, a Nadir Kraken, but with as a Mana Sink. And without the ability to, like, attack or block whenever it gets bigger. But, you know, it's 1 mana as an investment initially, so it's pretty good. Okay, I take 3. My opponent makes a token. Okay, that's a little bit frustrating. The Troll Aesthetic, which is pretty reasonable against my opponent. Makes it a lot harder for him to attack with this Rakdos Cackler, because I can just eat it in combat. Okay, just take the 1, and he'll make another token. Okay, Arc Lightning does clear the board here. We won't be able to regenerate our troll, but that's fine. So we go 2 to this, 1 to the flyer. And then we shock the Herald. That at least brings us back to, like, pretty much a neutral board, I think. Of course, we're behind on life. Yep. I'll block this, and... should I trade my elf for a warrior? Okay, that really sucks for me. I believe they trade, but that's really unfortunate. That was, like, a big part of my game plan, was Troll Aestheticing my opponent. Expect my opponent to play the Silver Flame Squire here. My turn. If I draw a land, I could play 2/3 drops. Which I did. So that's nice. Now we're ahead on board, but it's not really an easy board state for us because we're way behind on life. Oh, no ring. Sick. That's really unfortunate for us. We draw like a Pyrohelix? No. We can kill the Silver Flame Squire now, and that allows us to get in for a reasonable amount of damage. See how he blocks. Yeah. Just take that out. I think I probably should have done that first, just because I knew he was going to block with that. Like, why would he not? He's got no cards in hand. I got one card in hand. So, yeah, I should have just killed that pre-combat to get another 3 points of damage in, but that was definitely a mistake. Alright, Isamaru. I guess we're just supposed to kill that, right? Can only attack for 4 here, but that's fine. I can trade with the 1/1. And that way I only have to block and or deal with the Cackler each turn. I don't think my opponent should have played a land out there. I think that was incorrect. Get in for 4 more damage there. Jump. Lulls, Sunlance. Alright. We can't even kill this Cackler with the Chain Lightning because my opponent has double red because of plateaus. We could have had our opponent at 4 there, and yeah, if we had is that right? No, we would have only gotten in and put him to 5. Right? Yes, that's correct. Okay. So yeah, we didn't have a way of. That sucks. In light of the double plateau conundrum, are we just supposed to run Fire Ambush over Chain Lightning so it doesn't happen? I guess. So I swapped out Zagos for Trumpeting Herd here. I think that 3/3s are just a little bit more valuable than 2/2s. Obviously, over time, Xenagos can help me swarm a board, but I think that the bigger body now is probably better. Yeah, this hand's fine. It's not great. There's no accelerant, but I can cast everything in it. I've got some removal. I've got a big boy. I'm feeling pretty okay about my ability to interact with my opponent, especially if they play out a bunch of 1/1s like they did last game, or like if they go like Kithian and another 1/1 or X1. They can just kill both of them. It's a really big gain for me. Alright, well that's unfortunate. I'd really like to 2-for-1 my opponent with this twin bolt, but we'll see if that's possible. Just take the 2. Alright, Pegasus is more annoying than the Samaru, I think. I could have waited longer here, depending on what I draw. If I draw a 3-drop, yeah. But yeah, I could have potentially waited until my opponent's turn to do that, so that if they played another X1, I could get that 2-for-1 that I wanted. But it's pretty close there. Brimaz, alright, cool. It's not good for me. We could have also just played the Bone Crusher Giant there, actually. That could have been correct. We're going to try to flash in this Night Pack Ambusher to eat the Brimaz. I think that's our best bet. Oh, okay. That sucks. We're going to take 6 plus another 1. Well, we can eat the 1, I guess, with the Night Pack Ambusher. So, yeah. This is going to be another really close game. We do have more bodies on board right now, but we don't really have... If we can kill Elspeth, so if we kill Elspeth this turn and we play Garrick, and we can protect the Garrick depending on what he plays. Obviously, if we can't kill the Elspeth this turn, we're pretty screwed. Alright. Questing Beast. Does that do it? So if we play the Questing Beast, which we have to, I think. I don't think we have another option here. We have to play the Questing Beast. We attack. The problem is, so no matter what, he has lethal if he keeps a body on the board. And he's got 4 blockers. We've got 5 attackers, so we have to send everything at Elspeth, but if he just doesn't block, then he wins. He's got... Right, because so the Brimaz token has to block the same thing that Brimaz is blocking. So I guess technically we can swing like this. But the Porcelain Legionnaire, if it blocks the 2-1, the Brimaz, the 1-3, and the Gold Medal Harrier, the Night Pack Ambusher. Yeah, if we had Bone Crusher Gianted the Isamaru before it dealt damage, maybe we'd be in a better spot, but it's usually correct to see what's played, but I think I should have just killed it. Maybe it's 6, which means that I could take... at least some of the damage. Like, if the Gold Metal Harrier were the only thing to live through this, then I could take that 4 or whatever. So yeah, if he blocks right, which would be like Porcelain Legionnaire to the monkey. Well, he can just also sack the Elspeth. If I do this, is anything different? So by not attacking with the Bone Crusher Giant, he can save the Elspeth here and still just get in with the flying attacker, which is probably the safest thing. And yeah, that's really the reason that so yeah, Legionnaire blocks the monkey. Harrier blocks... no. We could do... Brimaz blocks the monkey. Porcelain Legionnaire blocks... he doesn't have to block anything, though, I think. He just lets the Elspeth die. And... we play an Elvish Mystic. So we have 3 blockers. If he's got any removal, we just lose. I think that was our only line. He taps down like Questing Beast. Actually, any removal spell, and we do just lose. Even now we go to 1. If he like swings out with everything, we would go to 1. Unless we just chump the Porcelain Legionnaire, which I don't think is ideal. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is a scenario in which we could have blocked the... so if we block the Brimaz, we take 4. Yeah, if we had shocked the Isamaru, we would have stayed alive. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. Because like next turn we get a Garrick, and then all of our stuff is just bigger than our opponent's. So, anyway. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next week. We'll just save all of our afterthoughts for after next week's matches.